Alright, so back to business. This is what I usually do when I first buy an angle grinder, whether it be battery powered. This is cheap Bauer, but I use them because I beat the crap out of them and I usually get them at a pretty good deal. So make them last a whole lot longer than they normally would. This has already kind of been previously disassembled. Take all this stuff off. Typically clean around the whole entire circumference of this retainer. Get all the debris you can out. I usually brush it out with a toothbrush or a wire brush, and then blow it off, or just brush it off with a chip brush from your drill press or whatever. And then keeping in mind, of course, most of these have set locations, so you want to make sure that these are all positioned in the same place on reassembly. But this one I've already taken apart somewhat. Pull the screws out. They don't usually go in any specific order, but pay attention. If they do, just get yourself a piece of cardboard, punch some holes in it, draw a picture of the cap. So once you arrive at this position, sometimes you'll have to tap these a little bit. Doesn't take much. Loosen this up, and you can see, so this one, I've already greased this, but I'm going to grease it some more. Typically after running it for a while, I usually open them back up and grease them some more, just because you can see the little cavity next to the pinion. It doesn't allow for the proper amount of grease to adhere to the ring. It'll still grease it once it warms up, but it's always better to have a little more in there. Set that aside, making sure you set it on a pretty clean surface. And then I'll take some red, usually like a Lucas sticky, or a high temp, some sort of a premium bearing grease, and I will fill this up just a little bit more, just so there's more in there. And then, of course, keeping in mind, paying attention to the location of these little divots. Stick it back on top, turn it a little bit, re-engage that pinion on that ring gear, spinning it around, and then I'll pull it back off one more time. As long as you got grease on there like that, you're in good shape. So reassemble. Everything is flush. Take your screws. Start each one of them, of course, before you start cranking down on them. Otherwise you end with cross threads, or they won't line up. This also makes sure that you have your retainer in place correctly, and that you have it correctly oriented, again, with these little tabs. You want to make sure these things stay in place. If you turn it the other way, usually the holes won't line up, but if they do line up, it may position your pinion and your ring incorrectly, and you could get either premature wear, or it'll bind up upon initial start, and you'll realize your problem as soon as you hear that crack of the aluminum case when the motor tries to go, if you're running a brushless, or it might just not turn. So usually what I'll do is I'll bring these all the way down. I won't tighten them up yet. I'll bring them just down to flush, just to make sure that the retainer is in place. I'll just give them just a gentle, just right there. Then I'll take a battery, put the battery on. You can hear it is greased up. So upon that, take all these things aside, take a rag, wipe the excess grease. Then I'll usually just take my hand, give it a good torque, about 15 hand-pounds. And then just reassemble. Everything goes on. Again, keep battery off for safety always. You can hear that grease moving in.